Excuse me. Right, Leo. In the sign of Leo. Um, okay, so we've put Leo in the place of the foundation sphere, so ruled by the sun. So we've got rid of the moon. We're thinking of heliocentric astrology. Um, so the sun is the center. So placing it in the foundation sphere, it's the foundation. It fits with the sun being, I mean, it's the foundation of the solar system. It's the heart of the solar system. It's the foundation. We could not be here. We wouldn't have anything to. If we didn't have the sun, we couldn't go round the sun. We wouldn't have day and night. We wouldn't. We could not survive. We'd have no heat. Blah blah blah. The sun is the center. It's the foundation of life. So this is the proper place for it, right? A lot of time Leos get very childish. It's a sign of the child. You know, with all these things, all these different aspects, right, there is a positive and a negative. So on the negative side, Leos can, and people in the Matrix can get incredibly childish in the sense of being egotistical, and you can't play with their toy. They turn people into toys, right? And they try and control them like they were their own toy. You know, that is really childish, and it's also incredibly evil and fucking monstrous. Leos have got a tendency to behave like that. On the other hand, the positive side of Leo is that they are the child. It's the real child. It's like the teenager, but in a good way. You know, full of energy. They've just come into their sexuality. You know, the whole world is taking on a whole new aspect. You know, it's like the world is their oyster. You know, everything's good. It's all wonderful. It's hot and horny and you know, exciting. You know, there's lots of flirtation. You know, all the smells of the opposite sex and that. You know, it sort of like gives you all these feelings, and you want to create. You want to make new children. You know, and it's like it's all good. That's the good side. But you've got both sides. It's the lion. There's all this other stuff about like in the Bible about, you know, I think it's Daniel. I forgot who it was now. He kills the lion, and he uses his lion's jawbone as a weapon, right? So you've got to speak. You've got to take over the voice of the Matrix. You have got to become the architect and Agent Smith. You've got to get rid of Agent Smith, and you are the new controller of the Matrix. You know, you are the new architect. You've taken over the lion. You've killed the lion and taken his jaw. And when you go back to the lion now has got a beehive in his body where it's all empty, and in his chest you've got a beehive full of honey, and you can eat that honey. You know, this is symbolic, but obviously you're going to have to work out what the symbology means. I could go and elaborate, but I think a lot of it's quite personal to who you are and your way of interpreting. And even if it's not, you have to interpret it yourself. It's straightforward. Because you're the child, you are the Leo, the lion, the child, and the child is the beginning and the end. And you've got to be a child to enter the kingdom of heaven, right? Okay. So it's all good. There's also a lion prowling around. Satan is like a lion. That's why you've got to destroy that lion. You've got to kill it. And then you take over the place of that lion. Then you become the lion. You know? You take over. You are the lion. If you're a Leo, you know, in a sense, it's still the same. You have to die and be reborn. You have to kill yourself and then be reborn. You know? Just like the Christ, you've got to be crucified and then be reborn. But a lot of people don't want to do that. They're so frightened of death and the idea, and it's really only death in the tarot trump. Death. It just means transformation. You're not actually going to die. Your body's not actually going to die. But so many people, the vast majority of people, seem to identify their ego with their soul. So that when they think their ego dies, that means their soul's going to die. That's not what happens at all. There might be a lot of chaos as a result of your ego dying, but unless it dies and is reborn, you can't enter the kingdom of heaven. You've got to be like a child, so you've got to be reborn and become a child again. All the time you think you're an adult and you don't really know who you are, you're a fucking monster. And you're a devil. And you're a lion who's going to be killed by the little child, which is people like me, who's going to just kill you. There's nothing you can do about it. You're just monsters to us. And we have the power of the Holy Spirit. And we've already just gone through cancer, and we've carried on that severe stuff, you know, and we're just going to cut your head off. You know, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you better get with the program. You know, you become a lion and be crucified, you know, or kill the lion, which is your ego, you know, or the agent inside you, and reform yourself into the living soul, the conquering lion of Judah. You know, the child that enters the kingdom of heaven. That's what you have to be. You know, fuck off. You know, it's so fucking straightforward. If you don't understand, because you're trying desperately to not understand, you people, for not trying to understand, you deserve to go to hell. You know? It's a contradiction, it's a paradox, and it's great because it sorts the wheat from the chaff. This is the Leo, the foundation.